I'm going to try to do a video in here where it's a little noisy, but this is where we have network access with an RJ45. So we've got a 1 gigabyte, or excuse me, a 1 terabyte external hard drive here, and okay, we're doing a review here on this network device, which is going to allow this USB external hard drive to turn into a network hard drive. Right now you can see that it's got just 2 jacks on it. It's a smooth case except for a USB and a power, and we've got the power, of course, and the USB. Now this is designed to plug into a computer and be an external hard drive for that computer. But what we want to do is use this RJ45, part of our wired network, and get that hard drive out there. So this device will do that. It'll take the USB and turn it into RJ45, and in effect turn this USB external drive into a network external drive. So I guess the first step will just be to open this thing up, and this is a clamshell. Wow, I don't know if you could hear that on the video, but it was under some pressure, and it exhausted that pressure when I cut into it. That was pretty neat. Alright, so I've cut into that clamshell. We've got a CD-ROM in back here. Some paperwork. So inside of there is another piece of plastic, just so it's holding it nice, and nothing to it, just a piece of plastic. Down below here, let's take power, and then we've got a knotted up RJ45. Nothing else in the packaging. So this, I guess I'll just leave somewhere because I don't like the idea of having one that's that kinked up. Do have another one here. Interesting, and now we've got a couple of different USB junction things here. So we've got a small USB this way and a small USB this way. I guess the idea would be that this portable or external drive here does come with a USB cable, but it's fairly long. You know, it's designed for, you know, they don't know if you're going to have this plugged into a tower where the USB port is on the floor behind it or what. So this USB cable is fairly long. This one, however, will do the same thing, and it's just, you know, a couple of 10 inches long. So we'll use that one for now. And then we've got this one in case it was a different style of USB. So fairly handy. I think I'll pause then and just go plug in these 2 devices. Alright, we've got the 2 power lines run now. So the NAS here, plug it in, and we get a little blue ring around the planet there. But it looks like it's good to go. We'll plug in the hard drive here. And just a blue light up front here that's not on right now. So next we'll plug in this little line to the back of the hard drive. And then the other end will go to this side of the network. Now we've got a blue light on the front of the hard drive there. And we've got our network device. Then we'll bring in the RJ45, which is coming from our office network here. And we'll plug that into the back of the unit there. And now we should have that device on the network. Alright, I plugged in that CD, and we got a EZ-NAS and then a couple other folders. I'll open up this quick installation PDF. User guide. So we'll take a look here. Install storage. Looks like we've got it hooked up right, since there's really only one way to hook it up. Okay, so if I take a look at this software, it basically tells me I need to go to the device through its IP address. So if you go to the IP address that they suggest, the default one, you have a problem. So I just went over to my router and found the IP address that I needed, and then just copied it, open up a browser, paste that IP address that my router is assigning it, and then I get my storage 1819, and it's asking me for the username and password. So now I'm going to jump back over to the setup, and it says that the user and password are both admin. So I'll just copy that and paste it. Of course, I could change that later. And now what I've done is I've used this browser window to get into the settings for this device here. And I can go in and give it a name and I suppose get it on the network. So that's what I guess I'll do next. Alright, I've changed the name of the device and then added it to a network, hopefully our network. And now I'm going to go over to the computer here and view the workgroup computers. And now I do have the one that I just named, and then I have the default one here. I'm going to go into the one I just named though. Now it wants a username and password, and I'm going to give it that same default admin for now. No, it didn't like that, so I better read some more of these instructions. So guest and password is null. Let me try that. Yep, that let me into a public folder. So it's actually a pretty powerful little device. It looks like I can set up accounts and let people in at different levels of access, and there's definitely a lot of technical different settings, so depending on what type of network you might have set up, how old or how new it is, you know, what are the kind of devices you might be using, what operating system. Pretty impressed. It looks like for, I forget what I paid, 30 or 40 bucks. I think it was under 40 bucks for sure. Definitely is nice to be able to have a terabyte of storage. Let's see what happens when I ask it how big this folder is. If I look at it under my computer. Alright, I dug around in the user manual a little bit more, and there's not really a lot in there. It's a lot of technical stuff for other types of networks. So basically, I'm going to go in and create a mapped drive to the folder in here. So I'm going to open up the drive, and then just see if I can rename this. I can't, so I'll just go ahead and map a network drive to it. So now I should have it as a network drive, and I can just grab it whenever I need to. I can go to my computer. And it's just always going to be here. And it's 931 gigabytes, so it looks like I'm seeing the full size of the drive. So it's pretty cool. It was a little more complicated in the video than I think it needed to be. I basically plugged it in, and that's couldn't be easier. I mean, that's fairly obvious. Once you've plugged it all in, you just go to your browser and go to the IP address that they tell you in the user manual there. Once you've browsed to your device, you just set it to the work group. At least for me, we use a work group here. I just set it to our work group, and then it exists on the work group. I open up my browser, or I open up my Windows Explorer, and I just browsed through the network into the shared drive, and then I mapped a network drive, so it's just easy for me to use it in the future. And now for me, we use this program, Karen's Replicator, and I'll say run now, and it's a software backup that's pretty easy to use and free. I think I got it at download.com. And for the most part, what it does is every time I turn the computer on, or I can schedule it for a particular time of day, what it's going to do is it's going to go to, let's say on this computer, some particular folder that I might be using, like for us the folder that we put our videos in. And now at some particular time of day, let's say 11 a.m., this software is going to pick up and copy everything that's new in this computer, in that folder, to a folder on this shared drive. And what that does for us is two things. It makes a second copy, so if something happens to this computer, there's a backup copy over here. And the second thing, because of this little network device, that means if I plug a laptop in, I can find that folder and use those videos if I needed to. So this gives us a shared copy of the videos as well. Looks like, according to this, we could probably hook this up straight to the internet, but we're not into that. We use YouTube to help show our videos. So anyway, using this free software is going to allow us to get full power as a backup unit out of this, and then again, this is going to allow us to not need this computer on. Ordinarily, this drive would plug into USB to this computer, and anytime this computer's on, other computers could, we could share this drive and other computers could access it. But with this device now, we're able to let this hard drive just exist on the network as an entity. This computer can be turned off, and our laptops can still come on and connect to this and the other laptop and the other hard drive there. So a great little device for under $40. We got it at Comp Geeks, and we'll leave a link up there in the description on where to get it. Really good item so far.